Hello, we are live. How is everyone? I just got back from New York City. So, hi, this is RT Bear coming to you live from Hack Shack Studios. And I have been off YouTube since Friday. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and today is Wednesday. I believe today is Wednesday. Yes, so hi, how's everybody been? If you're in the chat, chime in. It always helps with my confidence level to know I'm talking to somebody and not just this camera here and this microphone to my left. So, hey, I am. We have people. Hi, Shinto. Catch up. Yes, I don't know if you guys know or checked out my last live stream. I was letting everyone know that I was going to be gone for the 5 days, and I went to New York City. There was a show in Suffolk County, Long Island, a big comic book con, and there was Adam Kubert. There was what is his name? There was Larry Stroman. There was Scott Lobdell. There was my buddy Norm Rapman. It's so weird. Like, the only time I see Norm is when I go to other conventions in other states. He lives right up the freeway from me, and I don't get to see him as much as I would wish to with this busy schedule. I'm here, bro. I'm here. I got to get my chops back. I feel rusty. Yes. Oh, and I got a big interview with Clownfish TV. If you guys don't subscribe to Clownfish, go there and subscribe. I'm going to do an interview with him at 5 o'clock. So, 5:30. So I have about an hour and a half before then. But I thought I would just hang out with you guys for a little while. I don't really have anything prepared other than let you know what the last 5 days have been. And to also remind you that I have a Indiegogo for Chrono Mechanics going still. So thank you guys. We have gotten with your help to the first goal. What do they call them? They call them the flexible goal. So yes, so we got to the flexible goal. So thank you guys so much for your help, but this is just the beginning. So this is just really going to pay for the printing, because a lot of that money that's in that total is also the shipping. The shipping money is included in that total. So that's not just money that goes to the book. It's money that also pays for the shipping to get the books to you guys. So it's not quite as impressive as it seems, even though I am very thankful for it. And anytime I can get anybody to come along with me on these journeys, on these trips, to try to do these independent dreams and finance them, I greatly appreciate that. And I can't wait to get Black and White into your hands, because then I can start getting feedback, and you guys can let me know if this is working and if you like the stuff that I'm doing. It's all right. Clownfish, it's all right. It's okay. It's not. Get on. What is this? Get on Drawing Fire tonight. You know what? I've been reading the chats. I'm not sure what Drawing Fire is, so I have to look into that. Things move fast when you're not around. And I told myself that I didn't want to really live stream or do anything while I was there. I really did just want to enjoy Long Island and New York City without kind of any work-oriented stuff attached. Although the convention, you draw a lot, and it's still kind of work, but I was looking at this as a little bit of a vacation. So I went with my daughter Amanda, and we took off, and we spent 2 days in New York City, and then we went a day to just adventure in Long Island. So we went to Oyster Bay, and there's some historical revolutionary houses and haunted houses and my daughter's big time into all that stuff. So we went there. We only had a few hours, but we went there and had a good time. And I believe we're going to do a live stream tomorrow, our haunted Halloween live stream. She's going to tell you some scary stories, and I'm going to tell you a real life scary story. Excuse me. And if you guys want to bone up a little bit on what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, look up Vernon Butts and LA Freeway Strangler. And he was an accomplice, and also he partook in a couple murders himself. And I met that guy and hung out with him for a brief period of time before he started doing his craziness. So that will be for tomorrow. So I just wanted to tease that. So I got to find out what this drawing fire is. Oh, thank you. They do more than most people do before the dawn of time. Yes, they are action-packed. They are work-oriented. They are knuckle-busting time repairmen, chronomechanics. Flexing on the flexible, yes. Let's keep going on that. So as far as chronomechanics is concerned, please help get the word out. We're not even really halfway to making it to where it needs to be. So yeah, talk to Ethan. Oh yeah. I've been talking to Ethan. We're gonna do stuff. It's just a shame that I was gone for 5 days because I believe they were doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff and a lot of live streaming. And he invited me on one of the streams, but I was gone. I wasn't here. So I could not do it. I could not do it. I'm going on drawing a bath tonight. You know what? That sounds really good. I have not slowed down since I've been home. So just to catch up too, I got, how many pages did I get from Narwhal today? I got page 3, 24, 4 and 5, 12 and 24. So that's 2, 4, 6. So that's 6 pages. One of them is completely done, and the rest I sent out notes to him. So, oh yeah, I like those guys. I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, they seem like one of us. Congrats on getting fully funded. Yeah, the flexible is there, but like I said, we still have a long ways to go. But I don't want to seem like I'm not thankful for you, for all your help and stuff like that. And the book is going to look great. It looks incredible. These pages are coming along, and there's a great deal of pages done too. I showed the other day on one of the live streams how many pages, and we're probably 2/3 of the way done, at least with the line art. The color is a little bit behind because, you know, you got to have the line art first and then to color it. But with the line art, it's about 2/3 of the way done. So it is moving. Cool Halloweeny. Yes, we're going to do Halloweeny stories tomorrow. Artist Papa Smurf. I am not. Oh, because it's a little blue. Yeah, I don't know what it's like. Low light. I don't know. I don't understand this camera at all. Yeah. No. I wasn't the other accomplice. No, Vernon was the accomplice. Yeah. But I don't want to tease too much of it right now. So yeah, look that up. Good show of you and your daughter. Yeah. Just to finally give you some kind of coherency, we as in Amanda and I, we got invited to Suffolk County in Long Island, or on Long Island, and it was a one-day show Saturday. So we flew out Friday night, and we got there late that night, woke up early, went to the show, and it was a blast. New Yorkers, people on Long Island, it was incredible. People come from Pennsylvania and Philadelphia and all kinds of places to go to these shows. Being from California, the states are so much bigger here. It's not that easy to go from state to state, but back there, you guys can drive an hour, 2 hours. you can come from Connecticut, from Pennsylvania, all kinds of different places to go to these shows, and it's only a couple hour drive or by the train. So we did that. I did a bunch of drawings. I was busy talking. I hadn't seen Scott Lobdell in years, and so he brought by Tom DeFalco, who I only met once in the day when I was working at Marvel Comics. And if you don't know, Tom DeFalco was editor-in-chief of Marvel in the heyday when we were selling millions of copies and life was good. So I got to talk to him, and I had a good chat with Adam Kubert. That guy, man, whenever I see him, he's like all huggy and he's always happy to see me. So it was fun. It's like coming home. Like I haven't seen most of these guys in years. And then I had a good conversation with Larry Stroman, who's always a delight. I love hanging out with Larry. And then Barry Kitson. And they all wanted to hang out that night. But I had a friend, Jeff Eckelberry, who's the letterer on Chronomechanics. And so he came in from Connecticut, and he had to get an early train back. So I decided to hang out with him instead of those other guys. Can you believe it? I shined on like Hubert and Barry Kitson and Scott Lobdell and Norm Rapman to hang out with Jeff Eckelberry. But Jeff's a great time. It's always fun seeing him, and he's a great letterer. He letters on Cry for Dawn, and he does some of the Deadpool books, I believe. Jam Creates. Yeah, I saw you at the show, right? You had the shirt on and everything. Yeah, it was a blast. I got to meet a bunch of you that support us, comic skaters and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was great meeting you. I met, was it Andrew J? Is that his name? Andrew J. And a couple other guys. And you know what? The thing is, there's a lot of bad publicity that Comicsgate gets, but everybody at the show knew about Comicsgate, knew I was affiliated with Comicsgate, and were asking a ton of questions about it. So, but not in a negative way. They were like, "So what's it like? What's going on?" And once we get past the, there's a lot of negativity attached to Comicsgate, and then they say, "But if you dig a little bit further, you can see." And then they say, knowing you, Art, like there's no way you would be part of this if it was some kind of like, if it was as horrible as some of these articles that have been written. Oh, there's Andrew J. Hey, Andrew. It was good hanging out with you, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun meeting you guys. And I had a long talk with Larry Stroman about Comicsgate, a little bit with Scott Lobdell, and then even with Tom DeFalco. And DeFalco had a good observation. And there's some people that can just say very little and they can just say everything. I'm not that person. I can write that, but I have to write 3 or 4 drafts before I can distill it down into a really quick, coherent, soundbite. But he said the difference between comics now and what Comicsgate is kind of, I guess, railing against is politics have always been part of comics. Always. And he said, but the difference with comic books now is that they're not just writing it like matter of fact. They're telling you how to feel about these politics. They're telling you how, like, what side of these debates you should be on. They're instructing you that you should take this side versus this side, where before it just talked about it in a very matter of fact way. So they would bring up a point and then try to just give it to you as detached of a way as possible and let you figure out what it is or how you feel about whatever the point was, but not necessarily spoon feed you, and definitely not humiliate you or try to destroy you if you don't believe in what the comic book was saying. And so I thought that was a great observation, and he said he would come on the show. So I'm going to do an interview with Tom DeFalco at some point, as long as he doesn't run scared with the Comicsgate thing. But they all seem to understand it, and it wasn't negative. There was more, not even concern. There was more like, what is it? Like, what is this cool thing that you're part of? It has this like edgy negative side to it, but what really is it? And so I had great conversations about it. I would say most of my day, especially the early part of the day, was talking to people about Comicsgate and people like Andrew J. And is it Jam Creates, or is it Jam Creates? And there was a bunch of you guys that came over, introduced yourself, and we were talking Comicsgate, supporting the Indiegogo platforms, and just making good comic books and bringing them directly to people. Like, this business model doesn't exist. We're pioneering this, where we create something, we come on YouTube, and we talk directly to you guys. And I must admit, it was very, very unnerving. Maybe the first 6 to 8 months I started doing this. But now I'm starting to look forward to hanging out with you guys and just talking and just letting you know what's going on. And I'm going to try to, create more shows and have more things versus just talk to you. But this was just a quick, I just wanted to let you guys know that I was back from New York City, and that the con was amazing, and that Comicsgate is growing and it's getting out there, and mainstream people are taking notice of it. So thank you so much, man. This is cool. Yeah, climb on board the time ship. So Narwhal and myself are trying to come up with the best way to tell the visuals of the time stream, where the time ships go and commute to their job sites. So, yeah. Oh, well, thank you, man. Yeah, thank you. And that's kind of what they were saying. And I think even Larry was saying there was a few missteps that almost overshadow Comicsgate. And one was Ethan and one was Zach, and those are legendary, but those were a year or so ago. And this stuff is live, and everybody says things and sometimes wishes they could take things back, but they're out there for right or wrong. So sometimes those things happen. And since then, Zach has went on national television and has apologized. And we're only human, and so we're going to take missteps and we're going to say things, especially with as many hours on YouTube and trying to fill time and hang out with you guys. So things are going to get said, and we're only human, so there has to be some kind of forgiveness with this stuff. But if you have an enemy, or you have somebody who doesn't like your point of view or your politics, they'll use anything they can against you, which is sad. That they can't look at the overall, or even understand the fact that they're exactly like us, in the sense that they say effed up stuff too, man. They say some messed up stuff. We all do. Thank you so much, man. We got $2. Tom DeFalco, get on it. Yeah, I got his contact. So today was just kind of catching up with all my emails and all my messages, and then trying to get Render Contender and Narwhal back on track, because I've been gone 5 days. So I wanted to get all my notes and stuff back to those guys so that they could keep working and moving forward to get Chrono Mechanics to you guys as quickly and as amazingly as possible. Amazing as in inspired, a one-of-a-kind product. So we got Peter. What does Peter say? Hello, Ink Master. Woohoo! Ink Master, I'll take that. Anything with Master. Master and servants. Art is one of the good guys. Yeah, man. And it was a blast meeting you, Andrew. You guys are so freaking cool. Yeah, we talked for hours. My daughter, it was funny because I got in a conversation like when we first got there. And so we had just set up. And if you don't know, my daughter's an artist as well. And so she worked with me on a Lady Death cover where She did the rough breakdowns, and then I tightened up the breakdowns, and then she transferred them to the board, and then I inked them all up, and it was a Lady Death cover. So Brian Polito really likes Amanda's work, so he wanted her to do a cover. So it was a nice jam. So we had those prints there, and we were selling those. And so she also, it's not quite cosplay modeling, but she does modeling, but it's more like, I don't know what it's called, like goth modeling or something like it's a little edgier, like dark. So it's not like runway modeling or like beauty modeling, even though she's cute. But she was there, so she had her prints for sale, and she was doing commissions as well. She made like $400 in commissions, man. I'm like, shit. You're cleaning up. But what she did is, while I was busy, sometimes she'll take commissions, or she'll kind of handle my table, sell artworks or prints or whatever, because I was away from the table when I was talking to the other people. And so she booked me up on commissions like that. So I think there were 6 commissions that I got within the first couple minutes. So then I finally got done, and I came back to the table, and she goes, "Oh, there's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy wants drawings." And I'm like, "What?" I said, "I was only really going to do like 2 or 3." And so I ended up doing like 8 to 10 at the show. So it was good because it helps to pass the time, but I also like to talk to people. So it makes it a little hard to work and talk. Excuse me, that's very rude. So yeah, at the end of the day, it becomes catch up, because all the work, you start looking at your clock, your watch, and you're like, oh my gosh, I only have 2 hours left. I got to get 3 commissions done. So yeah, the good thing is, like, the mornings are always a little rough for me with the sketches and drawings, because it takes me a while to get warmed up. And I hadn't drawn Friday. So, sometimes even a day without being at the drawing board, I feel a little rusty. So about mid to late day, I was like on fire, but it took a while. I did this whole complete drawing, and then I looked back at it, I was like, and I always bring a big old one of those big white erasers. I think, do I have one here? Yeah, where I can just go in. Oh, I don't have. Oh, here it is. And I just take one of these things, and I just go over it and just erase the whole thing and start over. And I'm so glad I did, because I nailed it after that. Sometimes it's like beating a dead horse. You just keep trying and trying and trying. So the best thing to do sometimes is just eradicate it and then go back over it. So yeah, so I also talked to, I'm not going to name names, but I talked to a couple other people that were at the show that I might have, and we'll do a hacks chat or hacks interview show. So we got a lot of things planned. So let's see what this says. Start shilling the comics. Cecil says he is starting a separate promotion for new comics. Wow, man, a lot of things have been going on since I was gone. Last thing I heard, Cecil got a job, and he was kind of going to bail from us. But yeah, so yeah, I will start shilling the book. I got my tab open, but I kind of wanted to just touch base with you, let you know what was going on. And also, I'm going to have Amanda on tomorrow, and we'll probably talk a little bit about going into the city and things like that. We didn't really do the touristy thing, although we did go to the Metropolitan Museum, and I had to take her there. So we spent 2 days just walking around, and one of the high points, the Egyptian displays and stuff are always awesome, but was seeing the John Singer Sargent displays and seeing those paintings there. The figures are almost life size, and I had never seen. I've seen his drawings. There was in LA. There were like his sketches in his sketchbook, and some of his working drawings, but none of his finished paintings were at that. So it was pretty amazing to see those paintings like firsthand, and it was different than I remember, because last time I was there was like 35 years ago. So you can get right up on these paintings, like within like a foot or so. So Amanda paints, so she was taking pictures with her phone of all, like, you could see the brush strokes and all the technique and everything right up close. And the photographs, especially of what is it? Is it Madame X? It doesn't do it justice. It does not do it justice. Seeing that painting firsthand right there, it was almost emotional for me. I was like, holy crap, the hairs on my arm rose, and I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And then I'm a big Van Gogh fan. I know a lot of people aren't really, but to see the paintings live are beyond seeing them in photographs and stuff, because one of the things he does is it's all texture. And so like some of the backgrounds are almost like what do they call it? Like basket weaving textures. You can do that in ink too, but he was doing it with the brush. So it's kind of like stroke, 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 stroke. So they're kind of like this way, this way, this way, this way. So they're kind of repetitive patterns, almost like a basket texture. And some of the backgrounds were like that. And when he moves the brush, he moves it around the shape. So he defines the form in these aggressive brush strokes, which the photographs do not do it justice. So we saw the portrait of the shoes, which I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of just those stupid the paintings, and his self-portrait that you guys you've seen both those paintings a million times. So it was pretty amazing to see those firsthand. And the weather was kind of cool because we're rain fans, even though we live in California. So it was raining most of the days. So we were walking through the city, especially was it Sunday. Sunday, it looked like something out of Blade Runner, because you get all the mist and the kind of steam from the streets, and then the low clouds coming in and kind of hiding some of the tops of the buildings and things. It was pretty amazing. And then we walked through Central Park, and Amanda loved that. She absolutely loved it. So it was a lot of fun going there. The show, New Yorkers are always, I always get along with them. Here in California, they say, oh, they're kind of like standoffish and things like that. I think they're just a little bit more matter of fact. And California is used to like, oh, please and thank you. And we're going to, there's like all this pretense about like how you have to be in this air about, oh, we're nice people and we're kind. But it's not that they're not, but they're just like, hey, you need some help? I'll help you. Hey, come over here. They're just like very just direct. And to be honest, in a lot of ways, I prefer that than, the phoniness of California. So what is this? It's a hashtag that represents stand against being spoon-fed a one-sided agenda. The fans and the people that use it are all their own person. Oh, I didn't see the one before. I'm sorry, Kodiak. Once I pulled past the fact that I was looking at CG all wrong, I got comfortable with being CG. To me, I'm not part of it as a hopeful imprint. It's like he said, is this two-part? The hashtag that represents a stand against. Yeah, very good. Yeah, we all kind of differ a little bit on the overall viewpoints, the details of things, but there's enough that we all see eye to eye on. Some of the political stuff I don't get too involved with, just because it's not my personality. So it's not that I'm against what a lot of people are saying on their streams. It's just not who I am. So it's not that I don't have controversial thoughts and stuff. I just don't air them all the time. I just find it makes things better, because ultimately you get into these discussions like you're going to try to change somebody's mind in an argument, and you never are. You're never going to change anybody's minds. So Art, I must have been fun doing. Must have been doing it. Oh my gosh, Art, must have been fun doing a show at the table next to your daughter. I love when I get a chance to bring my daughter to work. Yeah. It's a blast. It's a blast, and she is so much fun to hang out with. When they're young, you kind of don't have the friendship. So one thing, when she was very young, a lot of parents that we knew were like, "Oh, I want to be my kid's friend. I want to be." And it's like, no, they have friends. They need parents. And so when she was young, we were like, "No, we're your parents. We're not your friends." And then I said, at some point when you get older, we'll be friends, but right now, you need to respect us as your parents. And so she's 22, she'll be 23 in December. So, she's at the age now that we can kind of drop some of that father daughter stuff or parent daughter stuff and be more of friends. We can go hang out and we can do things because we have a lot of things that we like that are the same. So one thing about like my folks is they, I think it's kind of a mistake, is they, even when I was 30, even when I was 40 or whatever, they still acted like they were my parents. So they still treated me like, they dictated terms and told me things versus like, let's go do this or let's hang out or just have a conversation. It was still very parental, and it gets awkward and weird because at some point it's like, I'm my own person. I'm going to make my own decisions. So I'm sorry if you disagree with it, but that's just the way it's going to be. So start shilling the book. Yes, I will. Okay, so once I passed, let's go back in here. Once I pulled past the fact that I was looking at, I already did this. Oh, you know why? Because I went back up. Sorry about that, you guys. As sometimes it's hard to keep track of this. So no running for ink at con this time. Oh yeah. I think you're referencing, was it WonderCon, where I didn't have ink, and then I think Mike Miller came over for ink, and I was like, "Yeah, I just bought some. Why don't you go buy your own, you cheapskate?" I still gave him some though, because I'm that kind of person. Oh, I think she wanted to go. Ghost was playing Saturday night. So I think that's what you're referencing. But once we got there, we found out the distance, and it was Nassau County, or it was somewhere, but it was like 4 hours away. So it was a little bit too far for us to travel, especially, the show ended, I think, at 6. So I think we would have got to the show late anyway. So we decided not to go, but that would have been a blast. Yeah, well, I mean, we were there in the fall. We just got back, so it was beautiful. And that Oyster Bay area, it was like my wife always talks about Maine, like it's a coastal, like port town, and then you have all the fall colors and stuff like that. But Oyster Bay was the same. So there was this little pub, and we ate there, and she had like a shrimp bacon po' boy, and it was a sandwich, but you know what? There was too much bread. It was crab cake. So I actually just took the bread off and just ate the crab cake, and it was pretty amazing. It was really good. So I'm gonna go into shill mode here, you guys. You guys are warned now. But yeah, I would love to go back. Summer on the East Coast is a little humid for me, so not sure. Yeah. Nathan says print can never truly recreate some of those classic oil paintings, which makes me think that this might be an application for 3D printing at some point. Yeah, because if you could see that, that would be amazing. But you know what? I think it still makes it an event to go to these places and to seek these paintings out, because there's a lot of discussion in comic books, because there's a lot more digital work being done versus pen and ink on the board, and so there's a lot of debate However, I know that when artists that work strictly digital go to Comic Cons, um, they don't do as well financially because I have original artwork. And so the original artwork is always a plus to come to bring it to the show. I wish I could bring more because when I travel, I can only bring maybe like 4 portfolios because they're a little heavy, and also I just always get a little nervous that it might get lost in the luggage. So I always carry it on and I put it in the overhead. So I can only bring so many because of the weight and the size. So, but I think people always appreciate it because they always go through the portfolios. Even if they don't buy anything, they enjoy just looking at the originals. And to me, that's the fun whenever I go to these conventions like San Diego Comic-Con. There's a lot of original art. I just go through the original artwork and I look at how they did it. And you can see technique and textures and things on the original pages that you just can't, once they've been printed and colored up. All American. What is this? Come back to Long Island art. Oh, where is this? Oh, Andrew J. To Long Island. Let's go get some Shake Shake or All American Burger. Well, where were you when we were looking for a place to eat? Where are those? Are they close to that? Are they on that in that Suffolk County area? Because Long Island is pretty big. When we took the train in, I think we went the whole length of Long Island to get into the city. So, oh my gosh, Arthur Brown is the best. You are the best. So yeah, there's a link to my new project, Chrono Mechanics. And so let me go into screen share mode, and then I'll show you what all the hubbub is about. So hopefully you can see that. This is the Indiegogo page. So this is Chrono Mechanics. This is my newest crowdfund, Indiegogo crowdfund book. And so we're a couple weeks into it. So you can see we're a little bit over the flexible goal, which is good, but we really need to probably triple that number to make everything work, because there's payment for the other 2 talents, which is Narwhal and Render. Well, actually 3, and Jeff Eckelberry on lettering. And so then I would like to get paid for writing, penciling, and inking it, which would be nice. And then my wife, Pamela, for editing and co-writing the book. So we really need to get into that 40, 50K round, around those numbers, to make all of that stuff happen. So this is still, this is good. This is a good start, but we really need to keep working this. So if you could please share out to all your friends and let them know that perhaps the greatest comic book of all time is out, and it's up on Indiegogo. So Chrono Mechanics, they do more before the dawn of time than most people do all day. So that's kind of a setup for the tone of everything. So Chrono Mechanics is a self-contained 48-page graphic novel. However, during this campaign, we are hoping to reach 60 plus pages. So we have some stretch goals to help get us there, because it really is, it could be a 48-page book, but there's a lot of compromise as far as story. But if we can get to 60, there's absolutely no compromise in the story. So it will be with all the bells and whistles. So I'll be able to say everything that I want to say and to give you every visual that I want to give you in the 60 pages. So it's a sci-fi, lighthearted action adventure story. So it's like the tone is, what if Looney Tunes met H.G. Wells? So Looney Tunes as far as the crazy fun aspect, and H.G. Wells in regards to time travel. So I've already mentioned that Pamela will be co-writing and editing. Narwhal will be on colors. Jeff Eckelberry lettering, and Render Contender pencil assisting. I think there's 19 pages that he's going to help me out on. And I believe we have 6 of those pages done. And I think he he just sent me a layout for a newer page. So that's going to be fun. After this, I get to look at it. Yay. Yay me. So everyone knows who I am, 35-year comic book vet, Marvel, DC, Spider-Man, Superman, X-Men. So chronomechanics, they are time traveling repairmen. So time itself is a big machine. It's a ginormous clockwork cosmic machine that was built in the very fabric of time and space when the galaxy and the universe was created. So it regulates all time and timelines. So as a big machine, an older machine, it breaks down quite a bit. So we have the chronomechanics there to repair the machine. And so one of the fun aspects is it's kind of like just a normal repair type business. So like a plumbing business or electric, what do you call those? Like plumbers or electrician or any other kind of corporate or company, even like auto mechanics or auto repair shop. So think about that. So Chrono Incorporated is basically an entity out in timeless space that hires and recruits time repairmen, which are chronomechanics. And so they send them out in teams of 4, and they all have different sectors and different timelines that they repair in. So it's I tried to make it as much of like it's mundane meets the super fantastic. So to these guys, it's just their pain in the ass job. They're just knuckle busting guys that go to work, they do it. They don't get a lot of accolades or the attaboys or pats on the back. It's just their pain in the ass job. They go back home and then they just live their lives. So, but the thing is, what they're doing is basically stopping the world from going into chaos and giving order to the universe, which is basically by keeping time. So time gives order to things and basically stops things from just merging into chaos. And so their job is very, very important. So I thought it would be fun to do a celebratory story about just average Joes that do things behind the scenes that nobody knows, like, road repairs and just different things that we all take for granted. But we really notice when they're out of sorts. So if there's a pothole, you're like, oh my gosh, then you hold it against those guys. We don't realize how many potholes they just filled the night before. You know what I mean? Or how hard they've been working for the last month trying to get that road in any kind of state of repair and to where it's smooth. So I thought it would be fun to do this story. So my dad was kind of that guy. He was a guy that worked with his hands and repaired and fixed things. He worked on big naval vessels. He worked for the Long Beach Naval Shipyard. So he was a pipe cover and an insulator. So they fit pipes and then put insulation around these pipes and stuff. So most of the time it was kind of retrofitting old, because a lot of these ships were a little older. So they would tear out asbestos insulation, and then they would put new in while repairing pipes and things like that. So he would come home pretty beat up sometimes. So this story proper that we're telling is Team 9.2 of Sector 7 need to find a new recruit, because this job is very, very dangerous. And one of the recruits actually at the beginning of the story didn't make it. He didn't make it to the work site. So Chrono Incorporated, to keep things running, they always have to have 4 recruits. They have to have 4 members. So this is about a 4th member who is Doug. He's a 70s rock star. And work is a 4-letter word for him. And he's not exactly about, rolling up your sleeve and getting the job done. He's more just like sleep till, 3 o'clock, and then, smoke a little bit of stuff, womanize a little bit, and then go on stage. What is this?
It's your package from someone.
Oh, Oh, cool.
I just cut it open so you didn't have.
I can do an unboxing here. Woohoo! All right, I'm going to do an unboxing for you. This party just got started. Thanks, Amanda. So yeah, so it's about bringing a new recruit in who's doesn't exactly have a work ethic. So here's Chrono Incorporated. I thought it'd be fun to design it as a giant bolt. So it's a bolt out in timeless space. So this first couple pages is about Doug being recruited and moving into meeting Team 9.2. And so one of the things too about chrono mechanics is they have their core cells and then they transform into a chrono mechanic. So think Shazam. So, when Billy Batson says Shazam, he turns into basically Superman. So these guys are able to go from a core self into a kind of super mechanic, which is a chrono mechanic. So this first one is Caravaggio. So you can see he's kind of this muscle kind of superhero looking guy. And then he transforms into this little Renaissance painter guy. So that's who he is at his core self. And so Chrono Inc. recruit from all kinds of different timelines. So that's the Renaissance. So then we have prehistoric timeline, which is Oot. So he's a caveman. And so then we have Zin, who is from a made-up timeline in a made-up galaxy. So he's transforming to his core self, which is kind of a squid-like child. So it's just good fun. It's good sci-fi fun. If you think Futurama or Simpsons, it's kind of along those lines as far as the humor and sensibility. It's not exactly a kid's book. There's some edgy stuff in here, so that's why I say kind of Simpsons or Futurama, because there's some innuendo, some sexual innuendo. There's some conversation about drugs and different adult things, because after all, Doug is a 70s rock star. So here's the sketchbook, a work in progress. We have variant covers. So we have Sean Cheeks Galloway, we have Tom Bancroft, we have Aaron Lopresti, and we have Carlo Barbieri, who I got to finish. I do have these pencils, so I'm going to ink this up on one of the live streams at some point. So then we have a poster package, which I thought would be cool to get these things into your hands, as far as where they don't have logos on them and stuff. So they're pretty much uninterrupted prints and posters. And so stretch goals, this is the important thing. So at 20K, you can already see how we're not quite halfway to 20K, but at 20K, we're going to have these cool buttons. And then at 23, we have the lucky pick, which when you read this story, you'll realize how important the lucky pick is to the story. So the lucky pick is quite pivotal to the importance of this story. So then we have 28. We're starting to add more pages to the book. So we really have to be at a higher stretch goal to afford all the talents and the extra print costs for 6 extra pages. Then at 30, we have the perfect binding, which will put it into a square bound format like black and white we did. I just think for a graphic novel, it always looks better. And so then at 33K, we have the second 6 pages, which will bring us up to 60 pages, which is the ideal place that we want to be for the story. And then at 35, we have at HADS cover stock, which means we're going to have a thicker cover stock for the book. And then the biggie alert is the foil enhancement, which I can't wait to get, because I want to make these things look special. I want to make them look like one-of-a-kind collector's items. So if we can get like the metallic foil into them, it would be so cool. And one of the ideas is that the logo will be foil enhanced, and then it will have a small little trim all the way around the perimeter of the book. And then the lower right-hand corner will be a metallic cog shape. And it will probably be like just half of it or whatever, so it'll be in the corner, and it would be big enough to where Pamela, the writer, my co-writer, and myself can sign our name. So each one of you guys will get, I think it will probably be designed that way regardless with that little cog, but with the foil, it'll look even better. But I'm not sure yet. I mean, we'll have to see how everything evolves and how cool it looks just with the color versus the foil enhancements. But I just thought that foil enhancements with the black Sharpie, over it will look really, really cool. Because I hate sometimes when you sign the covers and I feel like you can't see the signature because it gets lost in the artwork on the cover. So it's a great way to separate the signature from the artwork on the cover. And so then the biggie alert is 55K, which is the golden time card. I so hope we can get to this, you guys, because this is going to be so fun. We're going to get these time cards printed up, and we're going to, if they're not too expensive, because we haven't really priced this stuff out yet, but I want them to be kind of foil embossed or metallic as well. And so the idea is 1 out of every 10 backers will get a golden time card inserted into their book, into their order. And so the idea is you fill out the time card, you send that back to me, and I'll do a 9x12 head sketch of Doug for you, absolutely free. And you don't even have to pay more shipping or anything. It's all going to be on me. So all you have to do is fill out the time card, sign your name, and then, just, send it along, and I'll do the drawing and then ship it out. And the drawings will be done later. They'll be done and shipped out separate from the book. So you won't have to wait for your book, obviously, because, the book has the time card in it. So it won't be delayed by the drawing. That'll just be kind of an added little bonus as a thank you for getting us to 55K, which I'm so hoping we can get to that point. And then this is just, our thanks and parting shot, and come support me on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for listening to the sales pitch. We obviously have a bunch of cool tiers, so check those out. I'm going to stop sharing and come back to you guys and see what you're talking about. So Art Blue Bear, yeah. Oh my gosh, it looks even more blue. I don't know what happens to this camera, you guys. I really don't. It has a life of its own. So sometimes it doesn't matter how much light I bring into it, it's still blue. So this actually is blue, the Blue Yeti, and everything else looks completely blue. So so we have that. So, well, thank you so much, Nathan. I much appreciate. He's 109. So wait, just or like before the stream? Because it was just, I'll go back and we'll turn that number over, and then I'll call it. I'll bid you guys adieu. So what is this? All right, Art, I'm gonna go grill a steak. Yeah, I'm getting a little hungry too. So I don't. So see you later, Arthur. Have a good evening. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be going live on Clownfish, because I don't think he does live streams. So it'll be a taped interview. So when I find out when he's going to put that up, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight, is doing the interview. And also Picasso and his blue period. I love me some Picasso, man. I really do. I like his ink drawings. I think they're pretty bad. Shut your mouth. Yes, I backed it while you were talking. Oh, very cool. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Here we go, you guys. Screen share. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. We're at 8,035. Let me hit the refresh. Booyah! Thank you so much, Nathan. That is so awesome. Thanks, guys. I mucho apreciado that. Let me go back. Wait. Okay, we'll go back. Yes. Thank you so much, Nathan. I much appreciate it. I can't wait to get off here and tell my lovely wife that we just got a backer. So thanks. Who was the selling point for me? Yeah, Oot is a prehistoric businessman. So he's in real estate. So in the pitch, when we were shopping this around Hollywood, in the pitch, it still says it. It says he's a prehistoric Donald Trump, meaning, he's a businessman, and he deals in real estate. So I don't think Hollywood would like that anymore. At one point, it seemed like Hollywood was pretty cool with Donald Trump, and then somewhere along the line, he became president, and they all hated his guts. So I don't know what happened there. People are pretty darn fickle. So I still think it's funny. Prehistoric businessman, prehistoric, Donald Trump. I think that's funny. And who knows? Maybe I'll put it back in just to piss people off. And make sure I'll never work in Hollywood, which I don't know. If we can keep this going, that's no problem from my point of view. My heart is in comic books, anyways. Wait a minute, what is this? I love the fact that Picasso had a wiener dog that he loved named Lump. Lump? That's, I don't know. That is kind of funny. The prehistoric madman. Yeah, that's how they would do it now. So anyways, yeah, what Oot does is he sells real estate. So he basically just finds these caves, and then he kind of outfits them with some amenities, and one of the main is like a fire pit. So he's one of the first people. He claims he discovered fire, but the guys in the mechanics in Team 9.2 give him a bunch of crap about it. Like, yeah, right, you discovered fire. But he is the first one to monetize fire. So that is a fact. So one of the big selling points of these cave condos is the fact that they have fire. So you can heat the cave, and then you can cook with the fire. So that's a big selling point. So he's a little progressive as far as that's concerned. So, see a need, fill a need. So that's his business motto. And so he gets paid in trinkets and baubles and things like that, and probably in livestock. So it makes his wife Lemmy happy because they have quite a big family of little Oots to feed. So he's a good provider. So cave cave dominiums. Yeah, definitely cave dominiums. So, and he's also big enough that if you give him crap and you don't pay him, he can physically escort your butt out. So he doesn't have to go through the legal process that we do if we're going to rent a room or apartment complex. So very good, you guys. So thank you so much. I'm going to go eat and then get ready for my clownfish interview. So thank you so much. And thanks to everybody who came out to the Suffolk Comic-Con and had a blast meeting all you guys. And hopefully some of the interviews and things and the people I talked to, I'll get those guys into a Hacks Chat interview. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to land Tom DeFalco. So that will be fun. We'll talk about the old days in Marvel, when Marvel was great, when they didn't have an agenda, and we'll see how much we can get out of that guy, because at this point, I don't think he cares much about saying anything about Marvel. I don't think there's any love lost there. So this is wacky fun. I hope well, either way, it's good. You're talking about the stream or the comic book. So yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out Chrono Mechanics, please do so. Let me see if I have. Yes, here is the link. The link is in the chat, and it's also in the description. Arthur Brown, the Uncanny Kodiak, went and made himself a steak, so I don't have him posting this stuff up anymore. So yeah, check that out, you guys, and back Chrono Mechanics. And just my parting shot too, just to update Black and White for you. Second week of November, around the 14th, we should be getting books, Black and White books in, and they will start being fulfilled on that day. My wife has everything. My wife Pamela has everything prepared. So Books will start going out probably the next day to you guys. So we're going to start getting those books out ASAP. And if there's anybody on the fence, and I don't blame you, waiting for Black and White to go in fulfillment before you pull the trigger on Chrono, just know we are good for it. And early mid-November, you guys will start seeing that, and I'll post the hell out of the progress so you guys can see that we're good for it. So bye, take care. Yeah, take care. It was good, and I don't know for sure, but I think Jam sent me an interview that I need to fill out. So I'll get on that when I get some time. So thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure, and take care. See ya.